Whether you're singing out your heart on stage or you fall into character on set, for a lot of Hollywood celebrities, appearing at a talk show in front of a bunch of their fans is a welcome and refreshing change of pace. They get to sit back and just talk freely. However, some of these celebrities perhaps took their liberties a little too far, and the show hosts and production houses were not having it. Mae West and NBC's bad blood. Mae West, the iconic actress and sex symbol of the early 20th century, faced a significant career setback due to a controversial incident that occurred during a satirical radio routine in 1937. At that time, West's career was already starting to fade, and she appeared on the radio show to promote her latest film, Every Day's a Holiday. The sketch, written by Arch Oboler, depicted West playing Eve alongside Donna Machi as Adam in the Garden of Eden. During the routine, Mae West delivered a line that would ultimately lead to her banishment from NBC stations and a scolding from the Federal Communication Commission. The line, "Get me a big one, I feel like doing a Big Apple," was deemed by women's clubs and Catholic groups as obscene and immoral. This incident marked one of the first instances where a radio show was considered indecent by the FCC, resulting in severe repercussions for West and NBC. Following the controversy, NBC placed the blame squarely on Mae West and proceeded to fire her. They also banned her from their stations, forbidding any mention of her name. This ban effectively barred West from performing on the radio for the next 15 years until 1950. The fallout from this incident significantly impacted Mae West's career trajectory. Despite her immense popularity and cultural impact in the early years of Hollywood, she was sidelined from mainstream media for over a decade due to the backlash from her controversial radio performance. This event serves as a stark reminder of the challenges faced by outspoken and provocative figures in the entertainment industry, particularly during times of heightened moral scrutiny. Louise Lasser's strange behavior. Louise Lasser, best known for her role in the TV series Mary Hartman, made headlines for all the wrong reasons with her bizarre and disjointed appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Her rambling interview, widely regarded as one of the strangest in the show's history at the time, left both viewers and producers baffled. Lasser's erratic behavior began even before she stepped onto the set, as she reportedly refused to leave her dressing room, prompting producers to initially consider canceling her segment altogether. Her behavior off-camera was reportedly erratic, characterized by incoherent ramblings in meetings, crawling around the hallways on her hands and knees, and rejecting scripted material in favor of her own unusual ideas. When she finally appeared on the show, her presence was minimal, punctuated by strange and disjointed speeches. The peculiarities of her performance led viewers to question the authenticity of her opening monologue, where she simulated a nervous breakdown and locked herself in a dressing room. This bizarre incident ultimately led to Lasser's banishment from the show. While the exact reasons behind her conduct remain murky, reports suggest that Lasser was grappling with personal struggles, including substance abuse issues and emotional distress, during that period. Carson, known for his discerning taste and strict control over his show's content, was evidently displeased with Lasser's awkward performance. As a result, she was informally banned from making future appearances on the show. Her conspicuous absence from Carson's stage indicated that she had fallen out of favor with the host's tightly controlled booking process. In the reputation-focused landscape of Hollywood, being denied access to a high-profile mainstream platform like The Tonight Show could potentially damage a celebrity's image. However, despite the setback, Lasser's uncomfortable 1976 appearance did not single-handedly derail her acting trajectory. She continued to enjoy a steady television career throughout the late 1970s, starring as the lead on Mary Hartman, which had garnered critical acclaim. Nonetheless, the bizarre incident has endured as an unusual footnote in The Tonight Show history, serving as a memorable yet uncomfortable moment that revealed the personal troubles simmering beneath Lasser's public persona at that time. Andy Kaufman voted off the show. After honing his craft in the comedy clubs of the early 1970s, Andy Kaufman's unique brand of anti-humor and oddball performances began to garner attention from television bigwigs. By 1975, he found himself standing under the bright lights of Studio 8H in New York City, the iconic home of NBC's Saturday Night Live. It was a dream come true for Kaufman, whose childhood fantasies revolved around entertaining imaginary audiences with his own television show. Stepping onto the SNL stage on October 11, 1975, marked the beginning of an 8-year collaboration between Kaufman and the sketch comedy show. Over the years, he made a total of 16 appearances, creating some of the most memorable comedic moments in SNL history. From his Mighty Mouse sing-along to his portrayal of the endearing foreign man, Kaufman feverishly pushed the boundaries of comedic expression, leaving an indelible mark on the show's legacy. However, it was in 1983 that Kaufman would court controversy with his most infamous SNL performance, the women's wrestling champion bit. In this daring stunt, Kaufman invited female volunteers from the audience to wrestle him, proclaiming himself the intergender wrestling champion of the world. The act sparked outrage and debate, with many criticizing its portrayal of gender dynamics. Amidst the backlash, SNL's executive producer at the time, Dick Ebersol, made a bold decision to address the controversy head-on. In a daring move, he put Kaufman's fate in the hands of the show's audience, asking them to vote on whether Kaufman should be allowed to return or be banned forever. The response was a stark realization of Kaufman's polarizing impact, with 195,544 votes to dump Andy and 169,186 votes to keep Andy. The verdict was clear. Kaufman was ousted from SNL. The decision left a wave of disappointment and frustration among cast members and fellow comedians, questioning the wisdom of Ebersol's gamble. For Kaufman, the rejection was a devastating blow. Despite his efforts to appeal directly to the audience through purchased airtime on local networks, he would never return to SNL. Tragically, just a year later, Kaufman passed away, leaving behind a legacy of creativity and controversy that continues to fascinate and inspire. Robert Blake's awful comment. Robert Blake, best known for his role as Beretta on television, found himself banned from Saturday Night Live after a troubling incident during his hosting stint in 1982. The incident, recounted by former SNL writer David Sheffield in Live from New York, sheds light on Blake's mistreatment of the show's staff. During a rehearsal, Blake was handed a sketch titled Breezy Philosopher by writer-actor Gary Kroeger. The sketch depicted a tough guy teacher who taught while combing his hair and exuding a cool demeanor. However, Blake's reaction to the sketch was far from positive. With his glasses perched down his nose, he disdainfully read the script before crumpling it up and delivering a crude remark to Kroeger. Blake had said, "I hope you got a tough asshole, pal, 'cause you're going to have to wipe your ass with that one." Blake then proceeded to throw the crumpled script at Kroeger, hitting him in the face. This shocking act of aggression and disrespect toward a member of the SNL staff led to Blake's immediate banishment from the show. His behavior crossed a line, demonstrating a lack of professionalism and basic decency. While this incident resulted in his ban from SNL, it was not the only troubling behavior associated with Blake. Despite his ban from Saturday Night Live, Blake's career continued, but his reputation was tarnished by allegations and controversies, including his later implication in the murder of his wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley, in 2001. This incident on SNL serves as a reminder of the consequences of mistreating others in the entertainment industry, as well as the importance of professionalism and respect in any workplace environment. Sandra Bernhard and her personality clash. In the late 1970s, the irreverent and controversial comedian Sandra Bernhard burst onto the scene with her dynamic blend of body-centric stand-up and cultural commentary. Drawing inspiration from her idol Joan Rivers, Bernhard quickly became a recurring guest on The Tonight Show, engaging in witty banter with Johnny Carson on numerous occasions throughout the 1980s. However, by 1988, Bernhard's frequent appearances on the show abruptly came to a halt, reportedly at the behest of Carson himself. Although she was never formally banned, Bernhard found herself conspicuously absent from The Tonight Show booking calendar, a move widely believed to have been instigated by Carson's belated offense to her envelope-pushing comedic style. While insiders suggest that Carson wearied of Bernhard's tendency to riff on racy topics like politics, which made him visibly uncomfortable on camera, it was more than just differing comedic sensibilities that drove the rift between them. As the towering patriarchal figure presiding over late-night television since the 1960s, Carson embodied entrenched old-fashioned values that clashed with Bernhard's brash feminist identity. Their on-screen chemistry soured as Bernhard's rebellious material increasingly overstepped the boundaries of propriety Carson sought to maintain. While Carson aimed to provide light after-dinner entertainment palatable for middle America, Bernhard remained steadfast in refusing to compromise her subversive comedic voice. The repercussions of her exile from Carson's platform were significant, causing Bernhard's career trajectory to plateau. Denied the television exposure that reached tens of millions of households nightly, Bernhard remained undeterred in her commitment to staying true to her disruptive art. For her, the ultimate triumph lay not in securing the endorsement of Carson in mainstream America, but in remaining authentic to herself and her comedic vision. In retrospect, Bernhard's tenure on The Tonight Show serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of navigating the intersection between comedy and cultural sensibilities. While her absence from Carson's stage may have hindered her mainstream success, it only served to further solidify her status as a fearless trailblazer in the realm of stand-up comedy. Kathleen Turner versus Johnny Carson. Among the celebrities who faced the ban hammer wielded by Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show, few tales are as intriguing as that of the enigmatic Kathleen Turner. Renowned for her sultry allure and captivating performances, Turner graced the silver screen throughout the 1980s, carving a niche for herself with unforgettable roles in steamy films like Body Heat and Romancing the Stone. Yet, by the early 1990s, Turner's once glistening reputation in Hollywood began to tarnish, shrouded in rumors of diva-like behavior and a difficult attitude on set. It was during this tumultuous period that Turner's trajectory took a dramatic turn, leading to her effective banishment from the hallowed stage of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. The late-night exile reportedly stemmed from Turner's alleged disrespectful remarks about the show itself, although the exact details of her comments remain shrouded in ambiguity. However, Carson, ever the vigilant protector of his show's legacy, took offense at Turner's apparent downplaying of the promotional significance of late-night talk show appearances. Carson's swift reaction was to place an embargo on further bookings for Turner, effectively erasing her name from the coveted guest lineup. This conspicuous omission was a blow to Turner's hitherto A-list celebrity status, as access to the massive viewership and publicity pipeline provided by The Tonight Show was a cornerstone of industry image cultivation and reputation management. Shut out from the cultural conversation flowing through Burbank's stages, Turner found her disappearance from the public eye accelerated, her once bright star dimming in the shadows. Yet, while being banned by Carson undoubtedly dealt a blow to her career, it did not spell absolute professional ruin for the once white-hot starlet. Turner, ever resilient, embarked on a journey of reinvention, finding a new stage for her talents on Broadway later that decade. This second act marked a resurgence for Turner, proving her versatility and enduring appeal beyond the confines of the silver screen. However, her prospects within the Hollywood studio system waned markedly after falling out of favor, with the gatekeeper of late night himself, Johnny Carson. In the ever-evolving landscape of showbiz, Turner's tale stands as a testament to the complexities of fame and the enduring power of resilience in the face of adversity. Dana Carvey and his dooming impressions. Dana Carvey's meteoric rise to fame began during his storied tenure on Saturday Night Live from 1986 to 1993. With a repertoire of beloved original characters like the Church Lady and memorable celebrity impressions, including George Bush and even Johnny Carson himself, Carvey quickly endeared himself to audiences nationwide. His versatile talents and comedic genius poised him to dominate the next decade of comedy. As an integral part of the SNL cast, Carvey capitalized on the show's late-night publicity opportunities to introduce himself to audiences nationwide. This strategy proved fruitful, leading to multiple appearances on The Tonight Show in 1991, at the height of his fame. Carvey's return to Carson's stage was a momentous occasion, coinciding with the promotion of the Wayne's World movie, a silver screen adaptation of one of his most iconic SNL skits. However, what was intended as a lighthearted segment turned into a fateful misstep. Rather than exclusively discussing the film or reprising fan-favorite sketch material, Carvey opted to showcase his uncanny impressions of Carson and other talk show figures, while initially meant as benign self-referential humor from one consummate. Mimicked to another, Carson reportedly bristled at effectively becoming the center of the joke on his own program. Accustomed to tightly controlling the tone and reverence towards his show's storied brand, Carson perceived the gentle ribbing of his figurehead status as a breach of unseen fault lines. In response, the territorial talk show titan quietly enforced a blacklist against Carvey, permanently closing the door on what had previously been touted as a promising crossover comedy prince groomed to inherit the late-night throne. Carvey's experience serves as a cautionary tale of the delicate balance between homage and offense in the realm of comedy, especially when it intersects with the entrenched egos of television's most venerable figures. Despite his misstep, Carvey's legacy as a comedic trailblazer remains intact, reminding us of the complexities inherent in navigating the ever-shifting landscape of showbiz stardom. Joan Rivers and The Tonight Show saga. It was an era dominated by the iconic The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, a late-night institution where dreams were made and careers launched. Rivers, with her sharp wit and unapologetic humor, had found herself a cherished place in Carson's inner circle. The legendary host had become a mentor and a guiding light in Rivers' rise to fame. Yet, beneath the glitz and glamour, ambition simmered like an undercurrent, ready to surge forth ferociously. In a move that would reverberate through the annals of Hollywood history, Rivers made a daring decision to launch her late-night talk show on a rival network. But there was a catch, a fatal misstep that would seal her fate. Rivers, in her pursuit of stardom, had neglected to inform Carson of her plans. The man who had wielded his influence to propel her career now found himself blindsided by her audacity. Betrayal hung heavy in the air, a bitter pill for Carson to swallow. But why would Joan make a move like that? Well, at the time, Rivers explained that she took the offer because she was upset that while Carson's contract was renewed for 2 years, hers was only renewed for 1. Despite all that, Carson did not take the news well. In her recollection of the story, Joan wrote, "The first person I called was Johnny, and he hung up on me and never, ever spoke to me again, and then denied that I called him. I couldn't figure it out. I would see him in a restaurant and go over and say hello. He wouldn't talk to me." Not only had Rivers been blacklisted from The Tonight Show, but she was ousted from The Late Show the following year. Joan was both sad and disappointed in her former colleague and mentor. She believed he could have handled the situation better. On top of that, it seemed like her whole life came crashing down because her husband, Edgar, took his own life. In her interview with Entertainment Weekly, Joan said, "What Johnny should have done, and it's so theatrical after the whole thing, after I left the show, and after I was fired from Fox, and after Edgar committed suicide, Johnny should have had me back on the show and said to me, 'Where you been?'" In the aftermath of Rivers' bold move, the repercussions were swift and severe. The doors of The Tonight Show slammed shut, Carson's once cherished protege banished from the hallowed halls of late-night television. It was a rift that would never fully heal, a testament to the cutthroat nature of showbiz and the price of ambition. And so Joan Rivers, the irrepressible queen of comedy, found herself cast out from the very stage that had once been her home. Yet, in true Hollywood fashion, she would rise from the ashes, forging a path that would cement her status as a legend in her own right. But the scars of that bitter feud would linger, a reminder of the tumultuous journey that had brought her to the pinnacle of fame. Sinead O'Connor gave a shocking show. In the autumn of 1992, the world bore witness to a momentous cultural event as the renowned Irish songstress Sinead O'Connor fearlessly thrust herself into the center of a storm of controversy. This dramatic incident unfolded under the bright lights of Saturday Night Live, where O'Connor, known for her soul-stirring vocals, embarked on an act of protest that transcended the confines of the television screen. During a rendition of Bob Marley's timeless anthem, War, the unexpected occurred. O'Connor, in a bold and unscripted gesture, seized the moment to tear apart a photograph of none other than Pope John Paul II. Her brazen condemnation resonated through the airwaves, serving as a poignant critique of the Catholic Church's handling of pervasive child abuse scandals. The shockwaves of her actions rippled through the global consciousness, eliciting an immediate and incendiary response from religious factions, media figures, and loyal fans alike. In the aftermath of the incident, O'Connor faced significant professional repercussions across the entertainment industry. One notable consequence was her marked absence from The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, in subsequent years. Though she was never explicitly banned per se, she found herself excluded from the iconic late-night stage. As the longtime host of The Tonight Show from 1962 to 1992, Johnny Carson wielded substantial influence over guest bookings. Fostered within a largely conservative on-screen persona aimed at Middle America, Carson's vision clashed with O'Connor's radical gesture of rebellion. While Carson typically avoided overt controversy and prioritized congeniality and smooth interviews aimed at charming audiences, O'Connor's SNL protest was inflammatory on multiple fronts, offending religious and patriotic sentiments alike. Moreover, as an assertive feminist voice frequently sparking controversy, O'Connor contravened the ideals Carson atmospherically cultivated on The Tonight Show. Her absence in subsequent years indicates that she was informally blacklisted from the late-night domain, reflecting Carson's tight control over guest selections and the tone of his show. Hugh Grant kicked off The Daily Show. Hugh Grant, the epitome of the soft-spoken, humorous, and ever-chivalrous British gentleman, has left an indelible mark in Hollywood with his iconic roles in beloved films like Notting Hill, Bridget Jones's Diary, Sense and Sensibility, and Love Actually. Yet, despite his endearing on-screen persona, Grant's off-camera demeanor hasn't always charmed the crowds. In the world of talk shows, where celebrities often reveal a different side of themselves, Grant found himself embroiled in controversy during an appearance on The Daily Show. Despite the show's reputation for lighthearted banter, Grant managed to ruffle feathers with his off-putting mannerisms, leaving the crew and host, Jon Stewart, less than impressed. Stewart, known for his no-nonsense approach, didn't hesitate to show Grant the door, famously remarking later, "He's giving everyone *T the whole time, and he's a big pain in the A****. Grant, to his credit, owned up to his behavior with a touch of humility, acknowledging his misstep in a tweet. "Turns out my inner crab got the better of me with TV producer in 09. Unforgivable. Jay Stewart correct to give me kicking." This incident, which occurred while he was promoting his film Did You Hear About the Morgans, effectively sealed his fate with The Daily Show, ensuring he would never receive another invitation to grace its stage. While talk shows generally provide a platform for celebrities to connect with their audience on a more personal level, they also serve as a reminder that not every moment in the spotlight is a shining one. Grant's experience serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of maintaining professionalism, even in the most casual of settings. Despite his misstep, Grant's enduring talent and charm continue to captivate audiences, proving that even the most beloved stars are not immune to the occasional stumble.